This is Trevor's English Vocabulary, Episode 3. Episode 2's words were turpitude, depraved or wicked behavior or character, venal, showing or motivated by susceptibility to bribery, or capable of being obtained for money or other considerations. Maudlin, extravagantly or excessively sentimental, mawkish, self-pitying. And cornucopia, an abundant supply of good things of a specific kind. Our 4 words this episode are apocryphal, vitriol, paucity, and comport. So our first word, apocryphal. Apocryphal, spelled A-P-O-C-R-Y-P-H-A-L, apocryphal, and it's an adjective. The definition is it's usually of a story or a statement, and it means it's of doubtful authenticity, although widely circulated as being true. So some synonyms for this are fictitious, made up, untrue, fabricated, false, and spurious. So another form of this word is apocryphally, which is an adverb, and apocryphalness, which is a noun. So our example sentences. It was an apocryphal story about the president's childhood, based on rumors and not facts. The apocryphalness of the tale was evident when I asked him if he had any sources for it. While telling the story, it unfolded apocryphally to the listeners, as you could tell by their faces they had their doubts as to its veracity. Veracity means truthfulness. So, some tricks for remembering apocryphal. Think of apocalypse. So, depending on your beliefs or who you talk to, the apocalypse is made up. It's untrue. It's fabricated. The apocalypse is apocryphal. It's of doubtful authenticity. So our next word is vitriol. Vitriol, spelled V-I-T-R-I-O-L, vitriol, and it's a noun. Definition, bitter criticism or malice. And also the archaic definition for this is it's a name for a sulfate. Certain metallic sulfates of glassy appearance. So we're going to stick with the bitter criticism or malice definition. So the synonyms for this word are revilement, invective, condemnation, castigation, chastisement, opprobrium, rebuke, scolding, criticism, flack, disapprobation, and fault-finding. Conjugations of this word are vitriolic, which is an adjective. Some example sentences. You couldn't mention one to the other without splenetic vitriol pouring out. The man's scolding of his son's behavior was vitriolic. It starts out as debate and ends up full of hate, name-calling, and vitriol. Some tricks for remembering this word. 3 words that kind of show in vitriol are vitality, which is V-I-T, the first 3 letters of vitriol, and vitality. Violence, so the first 2 letters in violence are V-I, first 2 letters in vitriol are V-I, and the word riot. So the 3 letters in the word riot, R-I-O, show up in the word vitriol. Also, if this helps you, the city name of Montreal kind of sounds like the word vitriol. So you can kind of think Montreal, vitriol, Montreal, vitriol. Think of the phrase Montreal malice. Malice is a synonym for vitriol. Kind of a long shot, but it may help you. So our third word is paucity. 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 Spelling is P-A-U-C-I-T-Y. Paucity. And it is a noun. The definition is the presence of something in only small or insufficient quantities or amounts. So it's a small amount of something. Some synonyms: insufficiency, deficiency, scantness, scarcity or scarcity, scarceness, sparseness, dearth, that's D-E-A-R-T-H, dearth, poverty, shortage, want, lack, undersupply, rarity, rareness, poverty, inadequacy, famine, meagerness, limitedness, skimpiness, paltriness, restrictedness, deficit, and shortfall. So the origin of this word is from Old French paucit, or Latin paucitas, from paucus or pauces, which means few. Another conjugation of this word is paucities, which is plural. There's still a paucity of fresh produce in the shops, very little more than a few tired cabbages and exhausted apples to be found. The surrounding villages only had paucities of food supplies left from which we could plunder before withdrawing. So some tricks for remembering paucity. Paucity kind of sounds like pause, as in P-A-U-S-E, pause, or to take a break. You pause whatever you are doing when you have a paucity of food in front of you. You have to go to the kitchen and get snacks, and then resume watching your movie or playing video games or doing whatever. So think pausing your game or movie, getting more stuff, so that you don't have a paucity anymore. So again, paucity is a shortage. So our next word is comport. Comport, comport. It's a verb, and it is spelled C-O-M-P-O-R-T. Comport, and it's a verb. Definition: how one conducts oneself. Behave. To be fitting. To behave in a manner comfortable to what is right, proper, or expected. He comported himself well in the crisis. So, conjugations of this word are comportment, which is a noun, and comporting, the present participle. So an example of this word is: John wore an outfit that most definitely does not comport with the company's guidelines for business dress attire. Nobody bothers to pay attention to the way the new hires comport themselves. They are rude and obstinate. Alexia's comportment is an example for all of us. Let's have her lead the next professional development session on behavior and conduct. So, some tricks for remembering this word, comport. Remember, it is spelled C-O-M-P-O-R-T. So if you switch the second last and the third last letters around, instead of comport, it becomes comprot, C-O-M-P-R-O-T. So when seeing comprot, separate the first and last syllable, and it's comprot, C-O-M-P-R-O-T, which is short for communication protocol. So if you have good communication protocol, that is good comporting or good comportment. You are comporting yourself well. Also, a phrase you might hear is dress and comportment. Alright, so time for the test. Remember, our words this episode are apocryphal, vitriol, paucity, and comport. Alright, sentence 1. He had to act differently once he was accused of office misconduct. He conducted himself in the completely opposite way as to reduce the chance he would get fired. So, conducted himself is comport. The floods caused food shortages throughout the city. The grocery store only held a dearth amount of foodstuffs. So, a dearth amount of foodstuff is paucity, a shortage. The writer angered many readers with his diatribe against the politician. Now the writer was sick of all the personal castigations and unfounded character assassinations that was arriving via letters to the editor. So, the personal castigations that the writer was receiving, another word for that was vitriol. Julian did not like rehearsing the fictitious, fabricated, spurious story about his famous boss in the bar after work. He has evidence that the story is not true, as it was created by his rival. So, the fictitious, fabricated, spurious story? Apocryphal. Apocryphal. Okay, those were our 4 words today. Thank you for listening. This was Trevor's Vocab, and see you next episode. Have a good day.